What up, FGC? This is iZonk. With all the recent discussion about who should make the Street Fighter 6 roster, I've decided to make a short series which will feature 2 characters per episode. I will present their storyline, their overall aesthetics, and my opinion on who should be back. But now it's up to you to let YouTube know. Who do you want back in Street Fighter 6? Now, in today's episode, we compare 2 of the most mysterious characters in the entire Street Fighter franchise. Making this episode was a bit harder than the other ones because there's very little known about G and Q. Where are they from? What are they after? So instead of just a comparison, I got dragged into the rabbit hole a bit by wanting to find out who these characters really are. Now, G's only appearance is in Street Fighter V as a charismatic man that claims he is the president of the world with incredible powers, and he has a visual of the 5 continents shifting across his body. He does look presidential with a default costume that resembles Abraham Lincoln, and he starts off with an in-game speech of over 2 minutes long, and after analyzing it, he doesn't really reveal anything about his motives. He says he wants to unite the people of Earth and be their voice and their leader, and he will not stop for anyone or anything. Well, in Rose's story, on the other hand, she tells us much more about G. We first see Rose talking to Oro about him, and Rose can see into the future where Oro has been around for 150 years, so he has seen a lot of the recent past. And together they conclude that G isn't an evil being like Bison, but especially Rose is very concerned about the incredible force of nature that she feels when G is around. So she goes out to confront G, and after a short scuffle, she loses and she sees G for what he truly is. Unfortunately for us as the viewer, she doesn't share her exact thoughts, but it's pretty clear that she deems G to be a massive threat that needs to be dealt with quickly. She is convinced that he can't be stopped anymore in the present because he became too powerful already, so the only solution to dealing with G lies in the past, as she sets up the storyline really for a future game, where the cast has to time travel to change the course of history and stop G from becoming powerful. Now, as we switch to Q, his first appearance seems to be in Street Fighter 2, where he is seen on the Boat of Ken stage. It has not been confirmed by Capcom that really is Q, but it seems pretty obvious. His only playable appearance is in Street Fighter 3, where he says nothing to his opponents or to the viewer. There's no real story, until the very end, where it is revealed that Q is under investigation of the FBI. There have been 13 murders in one day all across the world, and Q has been photographed at every single murder scene, and that seems impossible, right? Now, because of his metal mask, his hat, his gloves, and his trench coat, he's not identifiable as a human, and I think the biggest takeaway here is that Q can't be at all 13 locations at once, so it seems to me that there might be more than one Q. So what is he? Is he a robot? Is he a cyborg? Because he does move like one. And what is he doing on all of these murder scenes? It's easy to conclude that he's the killer, but is he really? It's not stated who the people are that have been murdered. Is he doing his own investigation? Is he reporting to somebody? Is it G? Does he work for an organization? Like, the more leads we get on these characters, the more questions start to rise and the more curious I get to learn more. Now, looking at their toolkit, it's very interesting to see that Q has the same moves as G, just a small difference that he doesn't have any coordination. He frequently trips over himself. He seems to be slightly off balance every few seconds, and he just moves like a robot. He just doesn't seem human in any way. By the way, credit to Palm Bear who made the video where he compares the entire toolkit of both Street Fighters. So I used part of that video to put in this one, but if you want to see the entire video, please go to YouTube and check out Palm Bear. Now, if you compare the slow, lethargic body language of Q to G, there's a stark difference between the two. Because G shines bright. He interacts with the viewer, he interacts with his opponent, and he interacts with his surroundings. His moves animate into taunt-like gestures. He bows, he smiles, he points, he talks to his opponent. He doesn't seem aggressive at all, but he has an infinite amount of charisma and an infinite amount of confidence. His win quotes often revolve around him respecting his opponent and telling them that they are his beloved citizens of Earth and together we are one, etc, etc. He doesn't seem to be out to destroy anybody. He just wants the strongest fighters to unite with him to become one for a cause that isn't really clear to anybody. The more you watch G, the more you feel like he has a messiah complex, almost a bit like Gil. Now, all of this begs the question, who do you want to see in Street Fighter 6? Me personally, I think it has to be G. His story is only starting. What are his true motives? Where did he come from? Why is he such a threat? How does he relate to Q? I think we have to know the answers to these questions before we can give Q a place on the roster. I mean, their movesets overlap almost 100%, so there's no room to put both in one game. So who do you want to see return in Street Fighter 6? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you have suggestions about who should be in a future episode, please let me know. And don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Thanks for watching. Peace.